Ladies and gentlemen, listen to me. I need you to understand something real quick. Your life is yours. It ain't about what they say, what they think, or what they expect from you. It's about you. See, too many of us get caught up worrying about what somebody else is doing, how far they've gone, who they know, or what they've got. But let me tell you something. Comparison is the fastest way to lose your peace. You keep looking left and right, you're going to miss what's right in front of you. Let me ask you a question. What would happen if you took all that energy you put into watching others, proving yourself, explaining yourself, and instead you poured it into you? What if, instead of talking about what you're going to do, you just did it? See, silence is powerful. Silence makes people wonder. Silence keeps your moves unpredictable. When you're too busy talking, you're wasting time that could be spent working. You're giving people the chance to put doubt in your mind, to talk you out of your vision. Some of y'all tell your dreams to folks who don't even believe in themselves. So why would they believe in you? The truth is, not everybody needs to know your next step. Not everybody deserves access to your energy. Some of the biggest moves in history were made in silence. You don't hear a tree growing, but that don't mean it ain't growing. So this is my message to you today. Focus on you. Stay silent. Work in the dark so you can shine in the light. And when they finally see what you've built, they'll have no choice but to respect it. Now, go on and get to work. In life, one of the biggest distractions people face is the tendency to compare themselves to others. It starts early, watching classmates get better grades, seeing friends achieve milestones before you, or noticing someone else's success on social media. The world has conditioned us to believe that our progress is measured by how we stack up against the next person. But the truth is, the only person you should be competing with is the person you were yesterday. Focusing on your own path means understanding that your journey is uniquely designed for you. Nobody else has your exact experiences, your struggles, your mindset, or your purpose. When you waste time looking at what others are doing, you take time away from building what you are supposed to be building. Many people get discouraged because they see others achieving things faster. Maybe you've been working hard for years and someone new comes along and seems to succeed overnight. But what you don't see is what's happening behind the scenes. You don't know the sacrifices they made, the struggles they faced, or the advantages they had. The truth is, focusing on someone else's journey is a distraction. Every minute spent watching someone else is a minute you're not investing in yourself. The most successful people in the world don't concern themselves with competition. They concern themselves with growth. They wake up every day asking, how can I be better than I was yesterday? That's the mindset that creates real progress. Another issue with focusing on others is that it leads to unnecessary frustration and doubt. When you see someone else thriving in an area where you feel stuck, it's easy to question whether you're doing something wrong. But that's not how life works. Growth is different for everyone. Some people bloom early, some people bloom late, but everybody blooms in their own time. A tree doesn't rush to grow because the one next to it is growing faster. It takes its time, digs its roots deep, and becomes strong in its own way. That's what you have to do. Instead of worrying about where someone else is in their journey, focus on making sure your foundation is solid. Distractions come in many forms, and one of the biggest distractions is people's opinions. When you focus on your own path, you have to learn to block out the noise. People will always have something to say. Some will doubt you, some will criticize you, and some will try to tell you how to live your life. If you listen to all of that, you'll never move forward. The only voice that truly matters is your own. You have to trust yourself. You have to believe that your journey is unfolding exactly how it's supposed to. The people who make the most noise are usually the ones who aren't doing anything themselves. They'll tell you what you should do, but they aren't walking in your shoes. They don't know the weight you carry, the dreams you hold, or the work you're putting in behind the scenes. Focusing on your own path also means understanding that failure is a part of the process. Too many people give up because they hit obstacles and assume they're not meant to succeed. But failure isn't a sign to quit, it's a sign to learn. The people who reach their goals aren't the ones who never failed. They're the ones who failed and kept going. They didn't stop to ask, why is this happening to me? They asked, what can I learn from this? Every setback is a setup for a comeback, but if you're too busy looking at other people's highlights, you'll miss the lessons in your own struggles. One of the greatest strengths you can develop is patience. Focusing on your own path requires patience because success takes time. In today's world, everything moves fast. Instant gratification is everywhere. People expect quick results, and when they don't see progress immediately, they lose motivation. But anything worth having takes time to build. If you plant a seed today, you don't expect a tree tomorrow. You have to water it, nurture it, and give it time to grow. Your journey is no different. The problem is most people quit too soon. They stop putting in the work because they don't see immediate results. But success doesn't happen in a straight line. Some seasons will be slow, some will be difficult, but every season is necessary. Another reason people struggle to focus on their own path is because they are seeking validation. They want approval from others before they believe in themselves. But the reality is, not everyone will see your vision. Not everyone will understand what you're building, and that's okay. Your dream was given to you, not them. The people who succeed aren't the ones who waited for permission. They're the ones who believed in themselves even when no one else did. If you constantly seek validation, you'll never move forward. You'll always be waiting for someone to tell you that you're good enough. But the truth is, you were always good enough. You just have to see it for yourself. One of the best ways to stay focused on your path is to develop tunnel vision. Tunnel vision means blocking out distractions, ignoring negativity, and staying locked in on your goals. It means waking up every day with a clear purpose and refusing to let anything pull you off track. This doesn't mean you can't acknowledge what's happening around you, but it does mean you don't let it control you. You don't let someone else's timeline make you feel like you're behind. You don't let someone else's success make you doubt your own. Another key to staying focused is discipline. Motivation comes and goes, but discipline keeps you moving even when you don't feel like it. Successful people don't rely on feeling inspired every day. They rely on habits, routines, and consistency. They put in the work even when no one is watching. They stay committed even when progress is slow. They understand that small daily actions add up over time. If you only work when you feel like it, you'll never reach your full potential. Discipline is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. It's also important to protect your energy. Focusing on your own path means being mindful of the people you surround yourself with. Some people will uplift you, support you, and push you to be better. Others will drain you, fill you with doubt, and keep you stuck. You have to be careful who you let into your circle. Not everyone is meant to go where you're going. Some people won't understand your vision, and that's okay. It's not your job to convince them. It's your job to stay focused and keep moving forward. When you focus on your own path, you also learn to appreciate the journey. Too many people are so fixated on the destination that they forget to enjoy the process. They think they'll be happy once they reach a certain goal, but happiness isn't found in the destination, it's found in the journey. Every challenge, every lesson, every step forward is part of your growth. When you learn to embrace the process, you stop stressing about how long it's taking. You stop feeling pressure to rush. You realize that every step is shaping you into the person you need to become. Success isn't just about reaching a goal. It's about becoming the person who is capable of achieving that goal. That transformation doesn't happen overnight. It happens through consistency, through struggle, through patience. When you stay focused on your own path, you allow yourself to grow into the person you're meant to be. Moving in silence is one of the most powerful things a person can do. In a world where everybody wants to be seen, where people feel the need to announce every little move they make, keeping things to yourself gives you an undeniable advantage. Too often, people talk about their plans before they even take the first step. They get excited, they tell their friends, their family, even strangers on social media, but in doing so, they open the door for doubt, negativity, and unnecessary pressure. The more you talk, the more opinions you invite. The more opinions you invite, the more second guessing you do, and second guessing can kill a dream before it even begins. When you keep your moves private, you protect your energy. You don't have to deal with the weight of other people's expectations. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to justify why you're doing what you're doing. Too many people feel obligated to get approval before they chase their dreams, but the truth is, not everybody will understand your vision. Not everybody is meant to. Some people will try to talk you out of it, not because they don't believe in you, but because they don't believe in themselves. They project their fears onto you. They see your ambition and it reminds them of what they haven't done. Instead of supporting you, they discourage you. Not because they want to hurt you, but because they don't know any better. That's why silence is key. When you don't share everything, you don't give people the chance to plant seeds of doubt in your mind. Silence also keeps you in control. When people don't know what you're working on, they can't interfere. They can't sabotage you. They can't copy you. They can't take credit for your ideas. In business, in personal goals, in life, there is power in mystery. The less predictable you are, the stronger your position. People respect what they don't understand. When they see you growing but don't know how, they pay attention. They wonder, and when the results finally speak for themselves, there's nothing left for them to question. Another benefit of moving in silence is that it allows you to focus fully on the work. Talking about a goal gives you a temporary high, a false sense of accomplishment, as if speaking it out loud is the same as making progress. But it's not. Words mean nothing without action. The most successful people in the world aren't the ones who announce every move. They're the ones who execute without needing applause. They wake up early, they stay disciplined, they put in the work while everyone else is talking about what they're going to do. When you stay, letting results do the talking is one of the most effective ways to prove yourself in any area of life. Too many people waste time trying to convince others of their worth, explaining their plans or defending their dreams. But the truth is, words can only go so far. At the end of the day, people respect action. People respect results. You don't need to announce every move you make. You just need to make the moves. When the results start to show, you won't have to say a word. Your success will speak for itself. One of the biggest mistakes people make is feeling the need to prove themselves too soon. They get an idea, they set a goal, and before they've even taken meaningful steps toward it, they're already looking for recognition. They want credit for trying. They want support before they've built anything. But the reality is, support comes when people see something worth supporting. You don't have to tell people you're working hard. They'll see it. You don't have to tell people you're dedicated. Your consistency will prove it. When you focus on delivering results instead of talking about them, you put yourself in a position where people have no choice but to take you seriously. Success isn't about making announcements. It's about making progress. There's a reason why the loudest person in the room is often the least effective. Talking doesn't get the work done. Explaining doesn't move you forward. Defending your vision to people who don't see it won't change anything. The best way to respond to doubt, criticism, or lack of support is to succeed in silence and let the results do the talking. When people see undeniable proof of your progress, their opinions become irrelevant. They won't have to believe in you because they'll see what you've built with their own eyes. One of the challenges of this mindset is patience. Results don't happen overnight, and in a world where everyone is looking for instant gratification, many people struggle with staying consistent when they don't see immediate rewards. That's why so many people give up too soon. They expect quick results, and when they don't get them, they start looking for validation instead. They start talking about what they're going to do instead of putting in the work to actually do it. The problem is, talking about your goals too much can trick your mind into feeling like you've already achieved something, which leads to a lack of real action. The people who truly make an impact are the ones who understand that success is a long game. They don't rush it, they don't seek validation, they put their heads down, work in silence, and trust that the results will come in due time. When you focus on results, you eliminate unnecessary noise. You stop worrying about who believes in you, who supports you, or who is watching. You stop explaining yourself to people who don't matter. You stop looking for approval and start looking for progress. Every time you choose to take action instead of talking about it, you separate yourself from the crowd. Most people will tell you about their plans, but only a few will actually follow through. The difference between success and failure isn't talent, intelligence, or luck. It's execution. It's the ability to stay focused, stay disciplined, and keep working even when nobody is watching. Another important aspect of letting results do the talking is understanding that not everyone will celebrate your success. Some people will be inspired, but others will be threatened. Some people will support you, but others will pretend they don't see you. That's why it's so important to stay focused on the work and not get caught up in seeking recognition. When you focus on results, you stop worrying about how people react. You stop needing their validation. You realize that success isn't about being seen, it's about being effective. The right people will notice when it matters, and the wrong people don't matter at all. One of the most powerful things about results is that they are undeniable. You can argue with opinions, but you can't argue with facts. When you've built something, when you've achieved something, when you've proven through action that you are capable, nobody can take that away from you. Results demand respect. They force people to pay attention. They silence doubt without you having to say a word. That's why the most successful people don't waste time arguing or explaining themselves. They let their work do all the talking. They let their success make the statement. People who focus on results also develop a stronger mindset. When you stop seeking validation and start focusing on real progress, you become more resilient. You stop letting small failures discourage you because you know that every step forward is getting you closer to where you want to be. You don't need constant reassurance because you trust yourself. You know that success isn't about convincing others. It's about proving to yourself that you are capable. When you commit to showing results instead of talking about them, you build confidence that comes from actual achievement, not just words. Letting results do the talking also changes the way people perceive you. When you're the type of person who always talks about what you're going to do, but never actually does it, people stop taking you seriously. But when you consistently show up, put in the work, and deliver results, you gain a different level of respect. People start seeing you as reliable, disciplined, and capable. They trust you because you have a track record of following through. They don't have to question whether you're serious because your results speak louder than any words ever could. One of the biggest benefits of this mindset is that it keeps you humble. When you focus on results instead of recognition, you stop feeling the need to constantly prove yourself to others. You stop worrying about whether people are impressed and start focusing on whether you're improving. You understand that success isn't about showing off, it's about growth. It's about mastering your craft, pushing yourself, and achieving your goals because they matter to you, not because you want applause from others. The people who truly win in life aren't the ones who chase attention, they're the ones who chase excellence. The world is full of talkers, but very few doers. Everyone has ideas, dreams, and plans, but only a small percentage of people actually take consistent action. That's what sets successful people apart. They don't just talk about it, they put in the work. They don't waste time trying to convince others. They let their results speak for themselves. They understand that the best way to prove something isn't to argue about it, debate about it, or seek approval. It's to show up and execute. When you commit to letting results do the talking, you free yourself from distractions. You stop explaining yourself to people who don't matter. You stop wasting energy on opinions that won't change anything. You put all your focus into what actually moves you forward. Consistent effort, discipline, and execution. That's the key to success. Not words, not validation, just undeniable, unstoppable results.